All right, everyone, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to paint in the background hills. So if you have any background hills, you're going to do that. Now, my picture is much bigger. I'm sorry, my canvas is much bigger than my picture, and yours will probably be too, especially if you're using a digital picture. And so you're not tracing. But you're going to take a pencil and you're going to draw in. So make sure everything is dry. And you're just going to draw in your hills with your pencil. And if there's trees in front of it, just draw down to about the tree line. So let me draw in my pencil, my hills. So here is where I drew in my hills. And the best part about pencil is, like, if you make a mistake, I made a mistake right there. What you can do is, let me zoom into that spot, is you just draw where you actually want it to be, and then you can just erase with your pencil. Doesn't matter. The paint is going to go right over and cover that pencil. Now I'm going to paint in my hills, and I want to mix some colors for my hills. So I have this color here, and I'm noticing in my painting, in my picture, that the clouds are way down here, and I put them way up here. Does that matter? No. Do I want to fix it? Maybe. I might want to fix it. So, because then it'll give me a nice definition between the sky and that mountain. So I need to go back and do some more paint mixing. So I'm not going to mix as much paint. I'm going to use my small flat brush, but I'm going to do the same thing. Last time I mixed this paint was white with a little bit of blue and a little bit of black. And when I mean a little bit, if you're mixing a small amount of paint, it is going to be a little bit. Mix those two together, kind of knocks back that white. And then clean it off my brush and then add a little bit of blue to kind of make it a little blue, because that's the color that I see. So a little bit of blue. That's too much. Less blue. There we go. You can always add more, right? So less is more in painting. Start with less. Then if you want to add in a little bit more, you can. Okay, that's great. So what I'm going to do is, with this color and this mountain here, I am just going to take most of it off my brush. So I'm wiping it on my canvas, and then, I'm sorry, wiping it off my paper towel, and then putting it in, and I'm actually going right over my pencil drawing, because I can put that back in if I feel like I need it. And just less paint. Okay, less paint. So painting that in, trying to blend it with the clouds that were already there. Put a little bit down in here. Just get a little bit, just barely the amount that's on my brush. It's just so little. Just kind of covering that up. So that will really help define my mountain. Okay, so now I can make my mountain color, which is pretty blue. So I'm going to get some blue on my palette here. And I'm going to add a touch of red, just a touch, to make it just a little bit on the warm side. So colors that have red in them are considered to be warmer. And you're probably not going to notice much of a difference. And then I want to add a little bit of black and white. When you add black and white, you make a gray. So it might be helpful if you mix your gray off to the side. So I'm going to take some black, take some white, and mix my gray here. And that's pretty dark gray. Okay, so I'm going to mix a little lighter gray by adding more white. That black is very strong. That's better. And then I can start to mix some of my gray into my blue. And this is called toning down your paint. Adding gray is toning it down. Get that really well mixed. Now it's time for my transparency. So I'm going to put my transparency on top. I know that there's a large glare for you guys. And I'm going to see how well I match the color. Wow. I got it pretty close. It might be a little dark, but that's going to work for me. Okay, so I'm going to paint in my mountains here. I do notice that this mountain is darker, so I think I'm going to start with this mountain and paint this mountain in. And I'm going to go down a little farther so that when I paint the trees, it will, the trees will go up into that mountain. Okay, and then I'm going to add just a little bit more white to my paint to make a different color for this next mountain. You know what? Before I do that, actually, I notice that the mountain on the left is also pretty dark. So I'm going to paint that one in. Good thing I caught that. I'm going to paint that one in. And this is just painting shapes. This is the shape part of the assignment. I'm just painting in this shape of a mountain. Okay, so my recording cut off, but I painted in this shape here. And you kind of see it there, that mountain there. And so then I had mixed just a little bit more white into my color to make it even lighter. And I'm going to paint in this mountain here. And as I'm doing that, I'm realizing, that color is very similar to the clouds. It's not the same, but it's very similar. So that concerns me, but I'm going to look back at my photo and see maybe if my photo can tell me something. So you're really using that photo as a guide. So it tells me when I look at that photo that I need to add a lot more white in the clouds right there. Okay, so I can just clean my brush. So that's, you have to kind of read your photo and look and see what your photo wants you to do. So I'm just going to add in a lot more white. And make a very white blue. There we go. So see how I'm kind of going over one time and then painting back some things in. I'm seeing here that, oh, I probably should have put that paint there. So I'm just adjusting as I go. Whatever I see that kind of catches my eye and I go, ooh, I don't like that, I am changing as I go. So there's not a formula I can give you onto how to paint your painting other than you start from the background and then you work forward. I'm going to add some more of this lighter paint here. Sometimes when you're working from a photograph, you are going to change bits of the painting so that you can get it, you know, you can convey that this is the land and this is the sky. Maybe I kind of made that too much of a peak, so I'm just going to paint that in there. So it takes a lot of practice to do what I'm doing, and this is your first part of that practice. One thing I would say is I've noticed a lot of you guys use too much paint when you're painting. So on your brush there's too much. So saw how I wiped some of it off on my paper towel? That is a good thing to do. And then I can see, okay, now I'm just looking at this slope right here. And I'm going, oh, that slope actually goes more horizontal than vertical. So I'm just going to paint that slope in there. Hopefully I have enough of this paint. I think I do. Okay, and then that matches the shape more. Because, especially if you're painting a photo that's your own, people are going to look at that photo and go, oh yeah, I know that place, because you have painted it the right shape. All right? So I will be in class to answer questions. You can always use office hours. I could fiddle with this for a long time. I'm going to end the recording here.